everyone, I'm Miss Bombshell Betty from Retro Men and the Pinup Diaries Facebooks. Today I'm going to be doing a very easy tutorial on basic pinup makeup. So I'll be showing you how to recreate this look step by step. Okay, so the first step is to make sure that you prime your face. I've just used moisturiser, but you can use either moisturiser or face primer. It doesn't really matter which one. So the next step is to make sure that you put your foundation on. Okay. Sorry if I'm going to be looking over there, I'm just looking at the mirror as well. So all you're going to do, make sure you get really good coverage. You can use, like I'm using W7's Photoshop. You can use, you know, liquid foundation. You can use pancake foundation. It honestly doesn't really matter. It just depends on what you're comfortable with. And it's the same with the application. You know, some people like to use their fingers. Other people like to use the sponge. Other people like to use brushes. It honestly is, you know, what you really feel most comfortable with. So don't get too stressed out about it. And you want to make sure that you get really nice coverage as well with whatever foundation that you are going to use. So make sure that you pick something, because I've seen this in other videos, particularly like makeup review videos and stuff, where people will choose a foundation that doesn't really tend to match their face. You know, they'll go for one that's you know, too dark or something like that, and then they kind of, you know, rabble on about it. If you're going to pick when you go to pick a foundation, make sure that you use something that is really close to your actual colour. You know, some people tend to rely on what they see on the outside of the bottle. They may see like a colour chart or something. They may pick it out from there. Honestly, you know, if there's no tester, it's probably not really worth buying that brand, because you can't get a good accurate reading of how well it's going to match. Okay, so the second step is concealer. All you have to do is just really put the concealer where you feel you need it. So I always just put it around my eyes just to sort of brighten them up a bit. This concealer is a W7 concealer actually. This is light diffusing concealer. And all you do, I like to just sort of pat it in. I don't rub it in, I always pat it in. So step 3 is applying finishing powder. So you want it to sort of match in with your skin tone, or just even a little bit lighter. If it's a little bit lighter, it actually tends to brighten up the face a little bit more. So if you want to go a little bit lighter, it actually will do a lot better. So just sort of apply it in a circular motion. And make sure you apply it all over the face as well. So this will not only create a nice matte finish, but it'll also give you a little bit more of a glow. So it kind of has that 2 jobs in one. And you also want to make sure that you go down the neck as well, where you've put your foundation. Okay, so once I've finished applying my finishing powder, I always go over my eyebrows. So I always sort of brush through them first, because usually the foundation and the finishing powder just sort of sits on it. So you do want to sort of just brush through them beforehand. And when you do your eyebrows, just do nice light feather strokes. You can clearly see which eyebrow I've done. I wouldn't do it any darker than that. I don't like my eyebrows too dark, because I feel that it just looks too much like I've painted them on, so I only do them like that. I don't really tend to do them any darker. And always just make sure you give them a nice sort of brush over, just so that you haven't got any sort of stray eyebrow hairs sort of falling in everywhere. Okay, so with the eyeshadow, you want to make it a more of a kind of neutral, natural kind of colour, especially if you're doing just a basic, simple pin-up look. So I'm going to be using this. I hope you can see that properly. It's just sort of a vanilla colour, so it's just very plain type of colour. You want to use kind of this type of brush. You're only just going to be doing the actual lid part. You're not going to go up further. You can if you want to. It's not a hard and fast rule. But just for that basic look, you just want to sort of do just the lid here. This colour is actually not too shimmery. If you want to do just that basic, simple look, don't pick anything that's too shimmery. Especially if you are going to be going for more of a 1950s type of feel or a 1940s. You want to keep it kind of a little bit more matte, as that's what they used to do back in those days. So you want to have more of a matte finish rather than a very, very shiny finish. So the next step is eyeliner. I'm using W7's liquid eyeliner. So you just want to get a little bit on the applicator and just basically do a thin line all the way across. Now once you've done that thin line, you can then start to build on it. I always tend to sort of build from the outer edge going in. Okay. So when you've got both eyes done, you're just going to get the eyeliner and try to use natural markers on your face. So I know a lot of videos, I've seen a lot of videos and I've read a lot about it as well, where people will say put a dot on either side as to where you want the wing to come out to. It is a good way and it does work for some people, but I just find for myself it just doesn't work. I don't, you know, I'll put the dot over here in a good spot and then over here I don't seem to be able to match it up. So I always tend to use natural markers on my face, things like my eyebrows, things like that. So you can just sort of match it up there. And then on the other side, just do the same. Okay, so after you've done the eyeliner, you can put on your mascara. So I actually use two different types of mascaras. So my first one that I use is W7 Big Lash Mascara. And then my other one is actually one that I've had for a while. It's by Avon. It's Lash Fortifying Mascara. So I kind of use this one as a base. And then I go over with the Avon. I actually don't tend to put any mascara on my lower lashes, but if you do want to do that, that's fine. It's no hard fast rule with that. You can also apply fake lashes if you want to as well. I just prefer not to, that's just me. So once you've finished applying your actual mascara, you just want to brush it through with the mascara brush. So it's just to make sure that you don't have any clumpy bits sitting in there, that's all. So next you can apply your blush. I'm applying the Colour Forever lighter pink. Okay, so I always use two brushes essentially when I put blush on. And when you put blush on, you want to just go like that on the upper cheek and then just bring it up. So essentially I use one brush to actually apply and then the other brush to blend. If you use the one brush for both putting on and blending, it just doesn't really work because there's already the powder on the brush. It just kind of, it just means that you're just putting more on. You're just really messing it up. So always make sure that you use two different brushes, for one for applying and then one for blending. And make sure that they're soft brushes too. You don't want to be putting it on with a really, really harsh brush. So when you do it, just sort of circular motions. And I always do the face as well, so you don't have to do the face. And blend it back as much as you feel that it needs to be blended back. So just ensure that you don't have like really big streaks. So I don't know if you can see that, but I've basically just blended it back a little bit, not too much, just enough so that it's not too bright. Just so that we don't have clown face. Nothing worse than looking like a clown. So the last thing is the lips. So I always just put on a little bit of balm just to sort of hydrate them a little bit. As you can see, my lips look quite pale as well because I always just try to dab a little bit of foundation on there. I feel that it gives more of a good base for lipstick so that the lipstick doesn't have to combat with your actual natural colour of your lips. So I'm going to do red lips, which is just kind of a basic for any given pinup look. This one is Savvy Lip Liner. Okay. And you want to make sure that you do the corner of the lips as well. Okay, and then you're just going to put on the lipstick. So this lipstick is Poppy. It's by W7. It's actually a really, really nice red. So we're just going to apply it with a brush. This is the brush that's on the Savvy lipstick liner. You can just apply it straight from the actual stick, but if you actually do it with a lip brush, it gives you a little bit more control of it. You know, you can evenly distribute the amount of lipstick that you have on, and you're able to control it a lot better of actually where it's going. Generally, if you do it just by the actual lipstick itself, you tend to sort of go over the cupid's bow. I don't know if anyone's noticed that, but you sort of tend to lawn bowl over the cupid's bow, and it just doesn't look very good. So if you do it just by an actual brush, it looks a lot better. And as you go along, just sort of fix it. If there's like a little bit sort of misshapen, just sort of buff it out. If you've missed a spot, just go over it. Alright, now once I've gone over with the lip brush, I actually do go over with the lipstick itself. But I'm always very careful of where I'm actually putting it. So I always tend to use the flatter side. And in the corners. And I always make sure I use the point when I can't to the upper lip, just to make sure that I'm not bowling over that cupid's bow. And just fix up any little bits. Okay, so the finished product will look something like this. So there are many different variations, and I will be doing different videos for each different variation as well, and I'll be doing the same step-by-step process. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I definitely enjoyed making it for you, and I'm looking forward to making some more in the next couple of weeks. Bye!